Come on. Here we go.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast. As you can tell, I got that shirt rocking right now.
We got merch.
Yes, we do. Merch, not to sell, only for us and to give away to lucky fans. We'll get into that in a future episode. But we are live here on YouTube and Twitch. Hopefully, a lot of y'all are tuning in. Also, you can catch us on replays on both of those and on Spotify and now Apple Music. So that is entertaining and exciting and fun. I already listened to us on Apple Music and I watched us on YouTube. So good times. We are rocking and rolling on these things. Once again, we are getting a ton of views almost every single week. You guys are liking the show. You guys are giving us great comments and feedbacks and so on. But we need some follows. So get some follows on there. You can't just watch us, man. You got to help us. So get those follows going on, especially like on Twitch. If we get to 50, then you can subscribe and do a whole bunch of other things. Get to it, y'all. Sponsors, as always, we need that Blue Chew money. We need that Coke money. We need that right DDP yoga money. Look at always with that. We need that Pro Wrestling Tees money. We need it all, y'all. So get those sponsors going. I can't wait till we can actually talk about sponsors soon, hopefully one day. Yeah, and anybody who wants to sponsor us, shoot. There could be a local vending machine down the street who wants to sponsor us. We're all for it, and we'll talk the heck out of y'all. Yes, we would. As always, I am MWO, my wrestling opinion, and my partner in crime is always Shooting Star Press. What's going on? How was your? We went through Christmas, so what's going on? If y'all celebrate?
Yeah, we survived. Christmas was okay. My wife was tested positive for COVID on Thursday, right before Christmas. So, and I was sick a couple of weeks ago, but I was negative every other time I tested. So I don't know what happened, but she tested positive. So all the plans that we had with family, we had to cancel. Because we were hanging out around a bunch of old people. We didn't want to spread the virus and all that. So that kind of sucked. But it was kind of nice having Christmas, just the four of us with really no pressure on us. No, okay, we got to hurry up and open presents. Then we got to go here and then we got to go there and we got to cook dinner and we got to do this and we got to do this, which is pretty chaotic around my house during Christmas. So it's kind of nice to have a pretty low key Christmas. I still don't know what I have because we haven't done the family Christmas stuff yet. So we'll do that this weekend. But my kids loved it. They got stuff from Santa and they loved all of that stuff. So it was a good time despite the circumstances.
And look at you, probably the only person in the world who was upset that they didn't have to travel and visit everyone's family. I think that was a nice out. I wish that would have happened to me. Not saying I want COVID because COVID sucks, but I'm just saying in general, man, that's funny.
No, yeah, and not that I don't like my family or anything. I love my family, but it was just nice to not have to wake up on Christmas and worry about cooking a meal or worry about getting the house set up and cleaning everything for everyone to come over because we were going to host this year.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
But yeah, so it was just kind of nice to just wake up and open presents and then that's it. We do our thing. We have a little family lunch, family gathering with the four of us. And then, the kids do their stuff with their new toys. I'm putting all their crap together. My wife is sleeping in the bed, which is, what I wanted to do on Christmas. And then we watch movies all day. So it was, it was a good time. It was a fun time.
Nice. I had to go hang out with family on 2 different nights. So 2 different families, Christmas Eve and Christmas. So it was fun. It was fine. I drank a lot. That's good. It's Christmas time. You know what I mean? What's going on, Hambo? Marks. I'm going to start saying Marks again. This guy, he pops on at the beginning, throws out Marks, and then I'll say it the rest of the episode.
That's right.
But yeah, and I watched Christmas Story. I actually watched A Christmas Story Christmas, and I enjoyed it. If y'all got HBO Max, it's like the sequel to A Christmas Story. I actually thought it was pleasant. It was hilarious, in my opinion. I'm a big Christmas Story mark.
I hate the Christmas Story. I hate
you look like Ralphie if you put glasses on. That's why, because you get picked. Oh, because you're the one getting picked on. Yeah, you're the bunny pajama guy.
I just think it's a stupid movie. I'm not a fan of it. I just think it's I don't know, just something. I don't know. And I didn't grow up watching it, so I watched it for the first time when I was like 34 years old, like 2 years ago. I watched it. I'm like, what's the appeal of this movie? I didn't understand. I grew up watching Christmas Vacation, so I get that one. And I liked Elf, but yeah, Christmas Story. I never saw it when I was younger, and so maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I didn't. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Okay. But you said Elf and you said Christmas Vacation. So at least you named 2 other hits. So
Yeah,
that's good. And as long as I'm also, I dig Polar Express. I'll watch any of the Grinches, Home
yeah, I
Alone,
like
all the Home
yeah,
Alones.
of course, Home Alone, Home
So,
Alone,
Die Hard. People try to. I
of
mean, I know,
course,
I
yeah.
know there's debates now if it's not a Christmas
No,
movie
it's
because
a
Bruce
Christmas
Willis
movie.
said it wasn't, but it is. It's 100%.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a Christmas movie. It's about a guy who's trying to reunite with his family on Christmas. That's
Hello,
that's what
hello.
the movie's all about. But no,
Yeah.
and then I like Jingle All the Way too. That's probably one of my with
Oh,
Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad.
I was gonna say you might have to explain that one. I don't know if the young kids know about Jingle All the
Yeah,
Way, but
it's it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's not killing anybody, but it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's trying to find the last of the Turbo Man dolls before they
mhm.
all sell out for his child. And he's going all over. I think it's New York City. He's going all over New York City to all the different toy stores to try to find it. He meets Sinbad on the street somehow, and they get into a big fight in the store because Sinbad has the last one, even though Arnold had it first. And it just kind of shows the whole chaos of holiday shopping. This is all before Amazon was a big thing. So
Yeah,
this
there's
was
no more holiday chaos shopping. Yeah,
yeah. Now
that's
you
for
just
sure.
get it all to your front door. But
Mhm.
I thought it was just a funny movie. And then at the end, he dresses up as Turbo Man, and yeah, his kid.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't want to spoil it, but it was a good movie.
and none of these people know who Sinbad is
No,
either.
yeah,
So you know what I
no,
mean.
yeah. House Guest, First Kid. Yeah, he's been in some
Oh,
good movies.
yeah, and Arnold. I mean, and he's not always killing people. If you want to watch another Arnold movie that'll trip you out in 2022 or 2023, excuse me, coming up is Kindergarten Cop.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
It's not a Tuma, but I just recently watched it, and holy cow, the things he does to those kids in that movie. He's basically a substitute teacher. Wink,
Yeah.
wink. He's a cop trying to find a killer or whatever, and he pretends to be a substitute teacher to find who the kid's son is. And so he's like drilling these kids, yelling. It's hilarious. I'm being an educator. It's funny to me because I'm like, man, if I did 1/10 of the things Arnold's doing in
Yeah,
this
we would get
movie,
canceled.
I would be canceled. I'd be in jail. So it's hilarious to watch this movie. 80s and 90s were different, people. They were different. I won't even tell you the stories of me in school, what the teachers used to do to me. So different
Oh
times,
yeah.
y'all. Different times.
Yeah, the
But what?
things my coaches did to me in high school.
Oh
We
yeah.
if you try to do that now,
Mm-hmm.
you'd be terminated,
Mm-hmm.
for lack of a better term.
Yeah, you can't do things like that anymore.
No.
New time for better and for worse. But real so it's almost New Year, right? We just passed Christmas. We're going into the New Year, and we got some good announcements here on Two Dudes with Attitudes. Number one, tomorrow we are going to do our first ever watch along. It is going to be a live, maybe 3 hour or so watch along. We are going to do I don't know. I guess I got first pick. I guess Shooting Star will get the
That's
second
fine.
one. But
Yeah.
my favorite, probably pay-per-view ever for everybody out there. The Marks, if you're still listening, Survivor Series 1997. We are going to watch along as a group. We'll put it on all our screens. We can't show it, but we'll all watch it at the same time, start it at the same time. We will discuss, talk, interact, talk about it after it's over a little bit, what we felt and thought. If you don't know, that is the infamous Montreal screw job where people realized wrestling, for the most part, was fake, right? There was script to it, and
Mhm.
that realness can come into the screen. That was kind of the creation of the Attitude Era. That was the creation of Vince McMahon as a heel. That was the creation of a lot of things. It had the infamous Bret Hart spelling out WCW in the ring, HBK becoming a villain. There were so many things that happened in this thing, and we also had other things going on too. Just really quick, because we got a fantastic Mankind match in this card. We get
Mhm.
old school traditional Survivor Series matches, and we also have Owen Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin,
Oh
where
yeah.
they rematch from when Stone Cold had his neck broke from Owen Hart before that previously. So it's a really good card. It's fun to watch. We want you guys all to join. We are going to be on Twitch and YouTube tomorrow. So that's the 30th, if I believe,
29th.
of the
29th.
tomorrow's the 29th. Like, I don't
Yeah.
even know. I'm on
Thursday
vacation, bro. I don't,
Yeah, me
yeah.
too.
I'm surprised I'm not drinking at the moment. It's just coffee.
I just know that John Cena comes back on SmackDown on the 30th, and
Mhm.
so that's the day before. I'm just process of elimination. That's
Yeah.
how I
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
we
yes,
want to
so 9 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock
yeah,
Eastern, 6 o'clock Western. We will be live. Go ahead, Shooting Star.
yeah, I was just gonna say we want as many people to join us as we can. We want to interact with everybody. this is an opportunity for us to get to know the dudes and dudettes out there and the marks that are listening. This is an opportunity to get to know our listeners, and hopefully we have a lot of people joining us. So
yeah,
I'm excited about it. I've never seen
sir.
Survivor Series 97. I've seen the match of Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, but I've never seen the actual event all the way through. So I'll be excited to see it.
You're going to enjoy it. And we're going to continue to do this. So let's make it happen the first time. Let's make it worth our while. And we'll continue to do Attitude Era rewatches and so on and watch alongs. That's our whole thing. Two dudes with attitude. So we're two dudes who like the Attitude Era. So we will be going back to doing that. On top of, we will be doing pay-per-views as well. So believe you me, I guarantee we will have a watch along of Royal Rumble unless something happens in our families. But yes, we will be doing watch alongs as well. And with that said, we're also going to be doing an award show today and Friday. Today, we will be doing our best of in a bunch of different categories for WWE. We have not talked about this or discussed it. I have no idea that what Shooting Star has decided on. He has no idea what I have decided on. So it should be interesting. But with that said, we're like 11 minutes in. We should probably get this party started, right?
Let's do it. Yeah.
We didn't get a Raw this week. Just so y'all know, we can talk about Raw, but it was a year-end show anyway. It did give me some good pointers on some good matches for the year, things that I realized, oh, shoot, like I'm old. I forgot about all this stuff already. There were some good things going on this year. There was a couple interviews. I mean, there was a Cody Rhodes interview that, we both decided wasn't really that great. I mean, he talked about a few things, talked about his torn pec, but it's not like he said anything about coming back or anything of interest like that. So we're going to probably skip over it because SmackDown and NXT had a lot of good things going on. And with that said, don't forget also, ask questions, pop them in. We will try to answer them as we go along. SmackDown, let's start off with the Bloodline. I was actually caught off guard. I don't know why. Maybe because Roman's going to be on the next SmackDown and he was on the SmackDown previous. Maybe I didn't pay attention, but I was surprised to see him. I didn't think we were going to get a Roman Reigns appearance. And once again, that's what I always say. Him being here and there and yada yada, it makes it feel special. Because when he popped up on my screen, I was like, damn, okay, worth my money. I'm gonna sit here and watch this. I didn't know we were getting Roman. That's because it feels special. You don't see him every single week. He came out, opening segment I thought was fire. I thought that was one of the better ones that they have done in a while. I like that he kind of spoke. He gave, his thing. He had momentum. He was fired up, and then he passed it over to Sami Zayn, and it showed good unity. I don't feel breaking up anymore. I feel like this is a core group going into Mania. They're sticking together. He even looked at Sami and introduced him and brought him up to speak and backed him up on everything he said. And Sami cut maybe one of his best promos this year. It was amazing. He had intensity. He was giving it to KO. It just felt good. Once again, Solo's throwing up that one now. Everybody feels like they are clicking on all cylinders, and I know that could also mean they're breaking up eventually, which we all know they're going to break up eventually. But not going into Mania.
While we can.
Enjoy it while we can. It was a fire promo, and it led to a pretty good night. So what say you, Shooting Star? I mean, it felt good to me. I liked everything about it. Opened up the show pretty rocking.
Yeah, and I think that with the Bloodline being on TV, it's always a good time. But this one certainly felt different than their previous ones. This one felt a little bit more serious. Usually they come out and it's some silly stuff with not feeling oozy and all that stuff, which is great. It's also usually you're looking forward to seeing how Sami Zayn can get Roman and the Usos to break character and laugh in the ring, and all that stuff has been great. But this one felt just a little bit more serious, and I love that Sami Zayn mentioned the black cloud that is Kevin Owens. I love that he was talking about we're family, we're united, they love me. It was a great opening segment. And to be honest, I was also caught off guard. I didn't know Roman was going to be on the show. A lot of times the Christmas episodes are usually throwaway shows. I mean, we know this SmackDown was pre-taped, but still, despite it being pre-taped, it was really good. They put their best foot forward on it. We didn't see Mick Foley dressed as Santa Claus in the episode. We didn't see Titus O'Neil dressed as Santa Claus or anything crazy like that. It felt like another episode of SmackDown. It felt like, and it was probably the best Christmas episode of SmackDown I've seen in a really long time. Because again, it's usually a throwaway show. But this one felt important, and it felt like it was pushing for the match on the 30th between KO and Cena and Sami and Roman, and I can't wait for that match in 2 days.
Yeah, it's weird because it was like 4 matches, 5 matches, the whole thing. It felt like an AEW Dynamite, to be honest, because it just kind of like quick promos, wrestling, into wrestling, into wrestling, into wrestling, over. It was just a real quick, it felt smooth. It did feel like a Dynamite. I know I give Dynamite a lot of crap and now I'm praising it, but it just felt like a smooth, there wasn't, usually WWE does a lot of promos and stories and backstage. I mean, they did have things, I'm sure we'll talk about, you know, Bray Wyatt once again, but it had a lot of, it was just it's a very quick, smooth show. It felt great. There was no lacking. I never felt bored. I never felt out of it. And SmackDown has been wins, and that led into them wrestling Hit Row. And I dogged on that decision last week because I thought, why give a tag team a chance who has no chance, right? I'm not going to be invested. Whatever. Hit Row has not been getting a good reaction. The crowd doesn't really give two shits about them, but they had a hell of a match, man. They can go, and I never took away their talent as athletes because I think they are all phenomenal in the ring. They just aren't clicking right now as a group and as a faction with WWE since their return, in my opinion. Maybe some people do like them. Didn't seem like it either, but they had a good match. I enjoyed it. I thought it was like a B rating. I thought it was a really overall good match. The Usos always bring it, but I like their chemistry and I was entertained.
Yeah, same way. This is probably the most entertained I've been by Hit Row since they came back. They don't really do it for me. I think it's the gimmick more so than it is the actual talent. Just haven't really been feeling it, but yeah, I thought they brought it. I thought it was a good match. I love that they defended the tag titles on the Christmas episode of SmackDown, which again, you hardly ever see. So it was like you said, it was just a good night all around. So yeah, and I also really dug the Miracle on 34th Street fight with Ricochet.
Did you? Okay.
It was just, I like seeing Ricochet. Ricochet can go, and the Imperium can go. Braun Strowman can go kick rocks, but the rest of them, you know, are the other three. I thought they made it entertaining for what it was, for what it was supposed to be and what it was supposed to accomplish. I thought it was pretty entertaining. I enjoyed it. Again, Ricochet, I love watching him in the ring. I do wish Gunther could have been, would have been more involved, and I wish that he would have, wrestled, because we haven't seen a bad Gunther match in a long time. But no, I was pleased. I was pleased with the overall match.
Yeah, he wasn't there at all, right?
No,
I'm trying to mix up the two. No, he must have had a night
I didn't
off
see
or
him.
something.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. He must have had a break. Yeah. But you don't always, I kind of liked Imperium kind of being there, solo and doing their things. The only thing I didn't like about it was, because I do agree, I like fun matches. I'm not anti these type of matches when they're not happening all the time. Normally when Vince was in charge, it was every match was like some kind of stupid gimmick. The whole episode would have been a stocking match, a lingerie nighttime match, a Christmas story match. They would have had all sorts of stupid Elf on a Shelf match. Gravy Bowl. It would have been ridiculous. And that was last year. So it was nice just to see the one. The kids that are still watching, you got to incorporate it, right? But I didn't like having Imperium be in the match for it, only because Imperium's not really like a joke group. Yeah. And they took a lot of joke moves, opening it up and getting the Nutcracker line and the ballerinas. I was just kind of like, okay, don't take me. I like Imperium because like I said, they have that 90s villain from Germany, vibe going on with the and they just, I like what they're doing. I like who they are. And I didn't feel that. I wish they would have picked different teams to be in it. Like, why couldn't we have gotten, Hit Row versus New Day or something? Well, New Day's in NXT, but you know what I mean? Just different. But in the end, it was a fun match. I enjoyed it. And when you get talented people, they can figure it out. So put them in there and they'll do their thing.
I'm still in the corner that Braun Strowman's being punished by having to work with Ricochet for his tweet at Crown Jewel, because he just, I'm not feeling what Braun Strowman's doing right now. But other than that, I thought it was a pretty decent match.
Well, and I have to talk about Braun really quick, because I actually think he is worse now than he was before. And I wasn't the biggest fan of his. I did like him originally, and then I think he got stale. Sometimes when you rush people into title matches and becoming a champion and they're not ready, then you have nothing else to do with them. Kind of like what they did with Bray, right? Once he got the title, it was like, now what the hell do we do with him? It makes it tough. But when he came back, he's like 3-move McGee now. And one of them is running in circles and knocking people over, and that doesn't even look good. He looks like a freak. He looks like an idiot. He's like, and just like running around the ring and they keep getting up. And it's just, it looks stupid. It looks staged. I hate when wrestling looks staged. So, because I get a lot of flack on that too, with like the hoopity doopity matches that he was talking about, like the Young Bucks and such. Like, I love the Young Bucks, but sometimes it's too much when they're just flipping next to each other for fun and everyone's like into it and cheering. Like, to me, that's not wrestling. That's acrobats, gymnastics. I want to see wrestling. You can add all that into your moves like HBK used to. You want to do it like that, or Rey Mysterio, but I don't like when they do all the hoopla because it just doesn't look real, right? And I get wrestling is scripted, it's not, but it is real. It needs to feel real. Him running around in circles like a stupid big old goof is not doing it for me. I'm over Braun Strowman. Get him the hell off my screen. Like, and no offense to him, I'm not wishing him not having a job. Go put him in MLW, or I'll even watch him on Impact. At least he can help out over there. But get him off my WWE screen. He's pointless right now. I'm sorry if anybody's digging him. I'm not trying to be negative, but I ain't feeling it at all.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that, but I think you're right. He's definitely worse now than he was before. And I liked him before. I didn't have a problem with him before. I dug his character, and then when they let him go, I was really surprised. I was like, why are they letting him go? Like, this guy was, the fans seemed to dig him, but yeah, now he's just, I don't understand it. And he can go. He can go somewhere. I'm not feeling it at all.
Yeah. The gauntlet match was on. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was nice. Raquel winning was good. I'm okay with it. I think
we all
Raquel
saw that coming.
Well, 100%, but it was still good. I mean, poor Sonya Deville, man. And I think Sonya Deville versus Ronda is like printing money. I don't understand. She has like the MMA type of fighting feel. She's smoking hot. Like, let her and Ronda. I like the gauntlet match instead of Shayna. I don't understand what they're doing with Shayna. She's now like the person before she was like the badass like enforcer who was like wrecking people for Ronda, and now she's the person who goes out and takes L's for Ronda. That's like 4 weeks in a row now that it's like, that's it. I'm sending Shayna, and then she gets her ass kicked. I don't, and I know she's like always losing her roll-ups and shit like that, or surprise. That just makes her look stupid. I'm very confused because if we're truly getting to Shayna versus Ronda, is this how we're getting there? I'm confused. I'm not digging it. I don't know what Triple H is doing with this right now because Ronda's already kind of like faltering with the fans. So let's have her stooge lose all the time and look stupid. It was weird.
Yeah, but I'm all in on Raquel. I think it's going to be. I think her and Ronda can put together a good match. I've always been a fan of Raquel Rodriguez. I think it's going to be a good match, and I like that they were selling her injury from the week before, and she's winning the gauntlet match with a broken elbow or whatever it is that she says she has, and she recovered pretty quickly from that. But no, I think it should be a good match. It should be entertaining. The right person won, but yeah, I agree. Sonya Deville needs a push. I think that's money waiting to be printed, and maybe they're holding off for a big moment or something for that.
Yeah,
but Sonya needs a push.
I agree. And obviously Raquel's not going to win. So, but I'm all for Ronda. Maybe it'll help her step up again. I mean, they've wrestled before, so hopefully that'll. Ronda, believe it or not, people forget. Even the beginning of this year, Ronda knows how to wrestle. I don't know what happened to her and when she decided not to. But Ronda was the original Logan Paul. Remember, she had her WrestleMania moment with The Rock and Triple H and Stephanie, and people were all for her. And now all of a sudden, it's like it never happened.
Then she had the match with Kurt Angle and her against Triple H and Stephanie.
Yeah.
And then earlier this year, she was putting on. I enjoyed the tag team match that she had with I think it was her and Naomi and then against Sonya.
You forgot her already. She's been gone for so long.
I know she's been gone a long time. Yeah, but and Sonya Deville was in that match too. I was digging that. So but yeah, I don't know. Ronda. She can bring it when she wants to, and I think that's the biggest thing that's frustrating.
Does she want to? Yeah.
Does she really want to be there? Is she just phoning it in now? Is this what we're going to get from Ronda Rousey for the rest of her WWE career? Who knows? And that's unfortunate to see.
Yeah, I agree. And before we go to NXT, did you want to talk about Bray Wyatt, or are we gonna move past this? I mean, I'm still head scratching over here.
Yeah. I think I was excited to see Bray Wyatt get physical for the first time and since he's come back, and he took it out on a cameraman for some reason, which I found weird. But I mean, there was no LA Knight there. There was no. no really advancement to the story of the Uncle Howdy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not feeling what they're doing with Bray. And maybe I'm impatient. Maybe I want to. Maybe I'm trying to get to the outcome
Mm-hmm.
before you know you got to crawl before you can walk type thing. But I don't know. I'm ready. I'm ready for something to happen, and it's just not doing it for me. But it was exciting to see him get physical. And apparently he was in a match on Monday, but not on Raw. It was it was like a house show at Madison Square Garden, and
Yeah.
he went up against Jinder Mahal, and it was a quick match, and he won. He was a
Yeah.
squash match.
Yeah.
So maybe we're getting closer to him being in the ring than we think. But
Yeah.
something's got to happen because
Well,
I'm
yeah.
ready.
And there's all the rumors that he's not in shape and he's not in ring
Yeah.
shape and yada, blah, blah, blah. He threw 2 punches and did the Sister Abigail. My thing with this is that I'm okay with the slow build. I'm all for it. I watched Sting come out into the rafters for 8 months before he ever started wrestling in the WCW. You know what I mean? I'm all
Yeah.
for slow builds, but I'm not for a slow build where it's the same stuff every single week. He's saying that he came out again. Hey, man, I feel like, man, I
I told
respect
y'all. Yeah.
everybody and I need to find myself. And I thank y'all for finding me. And I told you he owes me an apology because Uncle Howdy wasn't me. And yeah, man. And then he just loses his mind for no reason and then beats up an innocent cameraman. Now, LA Knight is a heel. No
That's a
babyface
heel
beats
move.
up a
Yeah.
cameraman, whether he's crazy or not. The whole thing was wacky to me. I was watching it with like my jaw on the. I'm like, what are they? Is Bray writing this shit? Is Triple H writing this shit? Is the horror writer that maybe still
Yeah.
around, right? Tony Khan secretly writing this shit? Who's writing this? It is. I'm not feeling it. I'm sorry to say it. I know. There's a lot of people I love on TikTok who I see constantly defend this and say I'm impatient and other people are impatient. I respect that. If you want to say I'm impatient, I dig it, but I don't get it. I just don't. The same lines, the same promos. Now, is he even wrestling LA Knight anymore? Did we move on? Because
Yeah.
is it Uncle Howdy versus LA Knight now? It's a hot mess. And I still believe he is Uncle Howdy. Just because some guy came out in a goofy mask doesn't mean that's who it was.
It was animatronic. It was like those
Yeah,
things in Chuck E. Cheese.
Disneyland. Yeah, Grim Grinny Ghost come out. Yeah, it was a hot mess. Anyway, we didn't have to bring it up, but let's move on to NXT.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with Bray Wyatt. It's just
Same here. And honestly, I think the thing for me before we move on, it's the continuity.
Mhm.
You just had Adam Pearce fire Bobby Lashley for hitting WWE officials, and you've had Brock Lesnar being suspended for hitting WWE officials. But Bray Wyatt, he's doing it, and nothing's going to happen. It's little things like that just drive me insane. Ronda Rousey was suspended for the same thing. She's taking out cameramen, she's taking out backstage officials, taking out refs, everybody. And yeah, with Bray Wyatt though, it's what are they going to? They're not going to do anything, and that's it's just little continuity things like that also drive me crazy.
Bloodline hijacked Raw, and they were just like, meh, all right, whatever. You can do what you want. It's all good.
Yeah. But
Bobby Lashley accidentally touches somebody who touches him.
And he's fired.
And he's like,
he's gone. Yeah. He's gone. Get him out of here.
WWE setting themselves up for failure with that one. All right, NXT, man. NXT. There was a lot of good going on. I thought this was a phenomenal show. I actually just watched it earlier today. I missed it last night. I was out to dinner and I recorded it and just watched it this morning before we jumped on here. It was a good episode, I thought. My number one right now, before we go back and forth, but my one that I liked was Toxic Attraction. I'm glad they talked about the elephant in the room, and they did so in an intriguing way, and which I want to kind of jump into. So one of the lines that she said was, they are ready to rebuild, reconstruct, and return to glory. And that starts with the woman who took down their empire, meaning Roxanne Perez. And they show her while she says this. I like this. For one, they do not talk about Mandy once, okay? But they still call themselves Toxic Attraction. They still said they were the hottest faction in WWE today, that they had the best year, they had the yada yada. They want to rebuild, which I'm assuming means they're moving on, reconstruct, which I'm assuming means they are moving on, and return to glory since Mandy's gone, and them talking about who took down their empire. I'm assuming their empire is their leader, right? Their queen, their king, whatever. When you take down the empire, that's Mandy. This leads to all sorts of things. And before we jump into it, for all you young marks out there, as Hambone would say, this reminds me of a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. There was a faction called D-Generation X. It was led by the one and only, they're kind of popular, led by the one and only GOAT, Shawn Michaels. He was in a group with Triple H, Chyna, and Rick Rude for most of the time. Shawn Michaels got a legit injury in his back, and he was told he could not wrestle anymore. So he had one more match at WrestleMania 14 where he wrestled Stone Cold Steve Austin. Dun, 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 you're welcome. That was the beginning of everything that is wrestling today. Stone Cold beats Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels has to go off TV. So what do? Next night on Monday Night Raw, Triple H comes out and basically cuts a promo saying, DX is me. I'm taking it over. We're doing this thing. Out comes X-Pac, if you guys don't remember him, and the rest is history. People kind of say they like that DX better. I 100% disagree with New Age Outlaws and everything else, but they kind of took a real-life storyline where somebody couldn't wrestle anymore, and they turned it into keeping that faction. I'm really hoping that's what we're getting with Toxic Attraction, that we're going to get somebody who's going to come in, a good female, a banger. It could be anyone. There could be so many women out there. I mean, I'm not going to say Sasha Banks because everyone's like hitting at AEW, but there can be a lot of females right now who can step in and take over that lead role that Mandy was. And let's see Toxic Attraction blow up and become like DX did. I'm really seeing that. I don't know if a lot of you felt that way when you saw this yesterday, but all I thought was DX. I was thinking like, because obviously one of them aren't going to take over. I didn't get that. I didn't get like Jaden coming in or Gigi taking over and being that Triple H role. It feels like somebody else is going to come in, and hopefully it's not like a CM Punk Nexus type of thing, because that was trash.
No,
I'm feeling this as like a DX thing where somebody's going to step up, and I mean, ding, ding, ding. Cora flipping Jade would be like the money person to take over Toxic Attraction. But whoever it is, I mean, it wouldn't be like a Charlotte Flair because she's too big for NXT, but who knows? I mean, are you liking that? Am I crazy?
Yeah,
I mean, I
didn't get that vibe when I was watching it, but hearing you say that, I can see it. And I did get the vibe that Toxic Attraction is going to continue and they're going to go after Roxanne Perez. But I never really put
who hates Roxanne Perez, right? Cora Jade.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, but putting two and two together, it does make sense that, it is like a modern day DX type thing. One person that could take over the group, if that's the direction that we're going, is someone we just talked about, Sonya Deville. She also has history with, Mandy Rose from previous times in WWE on the main roster. She's had history working with Toxic Attraction in NXT. She needs something to do right now, and I think that would be a good spot for her. So I could see that, or I could see Cora Jade.
Yeah,
either one I think would be phenomenal.
Shoot, it could be anyone. You could bring back Natalia, Naomi. I mean, it could be anybody who's not being used right now that can come down and kind of step up. Yeah.
If it's one of those though, it just would it take them to the next level? And that's my I don't know if Natalia would be the one to take them to the next level.
Yeah,
maybe I think Sonya could. I think Cora Jade.
I like
could.
Sonya.
I think a lot of them could. But it's got to be the right person.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's where DX had the right group. You may not like them better, but they had the right person take it over with Triple H taking it over.
But he wasn't a star then.
No,
Triple H was like the European champion. It was given to him from Shawn Michaels. Technically, he hadn't really had many IC runs. He was never a champ. He was a nobody. Remember that. That was the start of him.
Yeah, and he took that ball and he ran with it. And now look at his career since, and look at his career now. And so who's willing to step up and take over Toxic Attraction? It doesn't have to be like, it's not going to be a Charlotte Flair. It's not going to be a Sasha Banks. It's not going to be Bailey. She's got her own problems with her own group. But but no, I'm curious to see where it goes.
And who runs NXT and WWE, Mr. Shooting Star?
Yeah, Mr. HBK.
DX themselves.
That's
both
right.
of them. Triple H and Shawn Michaels. So maybe that is where they're going. I don't know. That's just what I felt.
Yeah,
it is what it is. Yeah.
Again, I didn't pick up on that until you mentioned it. So that's
And I could
pretty.
be off. I've been off before.
But I could see it. I could
yeah,
certainly see it.
yeah.
It doesn't sound like Toxic Attraction's done anytime soon, which
No.
I'm kind of glad about. I
Mhm,
thought maybe with Mandy Rose gone, they were going to kind of fizzle out and
mhm,
maybe go their separate ways, and one of them goes to the main roster, the other one stays in NXT and
mhm.
tries to build their own career. But no, it doesn't sound like they're going anywhere anytime soon, which
And
again, I'm excited about.
and they have not yet talked about Mandy leaving.
No,
They have not
not at
said
all.
it, so don't count that out. My shirt was delivered to me. It should be here any day now. That Toxic Attraction shirt I ordered 4 months ago or 3 months ago that was
Nice.
waiting
Yeah.
forever. So it has Mandy on it still. I mean, if they were really that much, I mean, they're still promoting it. Still put. I mean, I'm not saying she's coming back, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
don't think it ain't a possibility.
Yeah. I can
So
certainly see it. I can certainly see her coming back.
or maybe she'll just come back to the big show and move on from Toxic Attraction
Yeah.
altogether. But
Maybe.
who knows? Who knows?
But yeah, and moving on in NXT, I I haven't been feeling Schism lately, but then last night on NXT, I'm back. It's kind of like the thing in the hospital
Mhm.
where it's they're up and they're down, they're up and they're down, they're up and they're down. And lately for me, they've been down until last night. I thought that was some of their best work that they put together. They're back up for me. I love what Ava Rain was doing to Booker T on commentary. She's just going after him and heckling him and telling him what Schism is all about and why she joined the group. And he's just looking at her shocked, and you know, he looked completely thrown off and flabbergasted and at a loss for words,
Which he
is
always does, but yeah.
yeah, but no, yeah. Usually he's just at a loss for words and flabbergasted in general. But this time he had a legit reason for it, and it was Ava Rain. And again, you know, we all know she's the Rock's daughter, but I'm liking that they're not mentioning that at all, and she's kind of doing her own thing. And you know, last night I thought Schism, the match itself wasn't the best, but they look cohesive. They look like a real dominant faction, probably for the first time in a long time. I was really feeling what Schism was doing.
Mhm. I agree. And it was a faction related show. I like Toxic.
Yeah.
I like Schism. Speaking of shirts, I ordered that Schism shirt about 2 months ago as well.
Yeah, that's a sweet
It
shirt.
finally got delivered, so I'm excited to rock that shirt pretty soon. But I mentioned last week on our podcast, last Wednesday, about how I liked that little backstage that Schism did. I felt Ava Rain's kind of leading it, like a Rhea Ripley type vibe. I am digging it. The other two dudes, the tag team guys, they're okay. They need to work a little bit more, but I am liking what they're doing. Number one, I like that they're rocking the shirts. Number two, all their trunks now all match. They look like a faction. They don't just look like four random weirdos that got together to start a cult. They don't feel like a cult as much anymore. They kind of feel like a faction. They're getting there. They worked their stuff last night. I thought it was a really good match. They worked as a team, the three of them, and with Ava Rain looking smoking hot as always with her little crop toppy shirt and giving it to Booker T. I did like that segment as well. I liked it was obviously planned, but she just walked over there and was close enough that you can hear her on the mic. She's giving it to him. And you're right, Booker T was in a loss of words. He even like looked at the other guy. And the other guy was like, "Dude, that was you. She wasn't coming for me.
She wasn't talking to me."
So she went to Booker T. That was like on purpose. I dug it all too. I thought that was a win for Schism. And there's that shirt is flipping awesome. The whole tree and the whatever, the roots and them becoming one. I'm liking it. I was anti-Ava joining them originally. I really wanted her to do the bloodline. I still want her to be in the bloodline, but I am digging Schism with her in it. I think she's helping them along the lines like Rhea does with in different ways. You know, if she wasn't in the Schism right now, I don't think I would have as much interest as I would without her. And that's not a knock on those guys. So
No, I agree. I think if she wasn't in Schism, I don't know if we'd be feeling Ava Rain at all. But that was some of her best work, what she did last night, that I've seen from her so far. And you know, Joe Gacy, you know, he's doing his thing in the ring. I think that guy, he's really good. And you know, he doesn't have the typical wrestler look. He kind of reminds me of KO a little bit with his body type. But again, he can go. He's good in the ring. He's good on the mic. I'm really feeling Schism again. And I was down on them for a while. Like I said before, I was just kind of like, what is this group doing? They don't really seem to have. They look like four random dudes or three random people in Ava Rain. And now, like you said, they have the matching trunks. They're starting to feel like a faction. They have, you know, joint moves that they're doing together in the ring. And they're starting to look like a cohesive unit, which which is exactly what you want in a faction. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
feeling Schism again, and
Yeah.
hopefully they keep this momentum going.
I think they will. I think it looks like they're starting to kind of click with them and what they want to do, their direction. And Joe Gacy ain't like KO because Joe Gacy's not afraid to rock no shirt. So props to Joe Gacy.
Yeah,
props to Joe Gacy. Be proud of your body.
Yeah,
don't be ashamed of nothing.
Meanwhile, I'm over here trying to get rid of this neck fat. This little neck roll I have.
You're like, how can I do this angle?
How can
you gotta bro, beards. That's why I grow a beard, man. You grow a beard, you get no chin, son. No chins.
I had one, and then my wife made me shave it for Christmas, and then we didn't even celebrate it with the family. She was like, "Are you gonna shave before Christmas?" And I was like, "Fine."
You're like, "Fine, everyone, yeah."
Yeah, and then we didn't even do it. So
no, see, that's why I never listen to my wife, son. Not when it comes to my facial. Like, she's always like, "Do this, do that." I'm like, "No, don't do a mustache." I'm like, "Mustache, it is." Yeah, don't tell me what to do. It's my face. We only got a few more minutes. We can talk about this, but Cora Jade, I was surprised she lost to Chu. I don't know what was going on with that. That Chu does not need a win, and Cora Jade did not need a loss. It was a weird thing. And Charlie Dempsey premiered. If you guys don't know who Charlie Dempsey is, well, not premiered, but he came. I haven't seen him in a minute. William Regal's son. The reason why William Regal wanted to go to NXT. He came out, didn't really say much, but he came out looking like William Regal. He had a little good vibe. Stared for a few. Looks like he's going to wrestle next week. So it was nice to see that get added in to the NXT mix with William Regal's rumors of swirling. So.
Yeah, and apparently, according to Tony Khan, we can't see William Regal on screen for a whole year. So, be curious to see what I know. William Regal will work with him behind the scenes, but it'll be curious to see how Charlie Dempsey grows as a wrestler.
Yeah,
between now and the time William Regal can appear on screen in NXT.
Yeah,
yeah, it was good. It was good to see him. I hadn't seen him in a long time, and I think maybe William Regal being back is a big reason for that. So, kudos to them.
Word. All right, NXT. Let's move on. It's almost the New Year's, right? Shooting Star. And before we get into that, let's remember, subscribe, follow YouTube, Twitch. I don't know if anyone's watching live. I know it's the holidays. It's weird right now with people having time to do things. But if you're just rewatching, we go Apple, Spotify, Twitch, and YouTube. Check it out. Tomorrow, we are going 9:00 Eastern. We are going to PM. We are going to do a watch along in Survivor Series 1997 on Twitch and YouTube. Yes, please join. We'll be answering questions, interacting the entire time, talking about it. This is what we want to do with you guys. People said they want back in the days. We're giving it to you guys. So click in, check, ask questions. We will answer them. I love it. I love question time with MWO if you know me. So, and SSP. So we are doing our thing. And with that said, with the new, what's up, Shooting Star? Go ahead.
I was just going to say one thing about Apple. Please rate us and review us. Give us 5-star ratings. If you like what you hear, the more ratings we get, the more reviews we get, the more we can appear on the main page when it comes to wrestling podcasts. And that means we get more eyes on the product. That means we get more attention. The more attention we get, the bigger we can become. The bigger we can become, the more content we can put out for everyone. So, keep the reviews coming and go in there to Apple Podcasts. Put it on automatic downloads, so it downloads new episodes automatically to you. But just make sure you rate us and review us and write a review. And maybe one day we'll get to a point where we can read our reviews on the air. All the positive ones, of course. We don't want any negative ones.
We'll only get positive ones, right?
Yeah, of course. But yeah, 5-star ratings are very helpful, and they keep us in the good graces of Apple and that whole company. So do your thing. Same thing on Spotify too.
And my thing is, we're getting the views. Like I said, we're getting a ton of views. We're getting way more views than we have followers and people subscribing to us. So it's like, if you're going to put in the time to watch us 2 hours a week, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, hit that 5-star rating button. That takes way less time than you listening to us talk for an hour and 2 hours a week. So do your thing.
Show the love.
Right. Let's go. Come on. So New Year's resolutions. It is New Year's. We got to do resolutions. We are going to do our WWE resolutions of what we are hoping for in 2023. Shooting Star. Let's hear it, brother.
Oh, man. This was hard, but I think what I want to see out of the WWE in 2023, we know Stephanie's running the show, and Stephanie's running the company. With Nick Khan, 50-50 split with CEO duties. And you have Triple H, who's basically the head of creative for the whole thing. I want to see Triple H really put his stamp on the WWE. Say, do something that solidifies him, that says that we're doing this. This is my show now. We're doing this my way. We're going this direction, and it could be anything. It could be some huge angle of that generates mainstream attention, that gets the mainstream media talking about the WWE again. It could be taking Raw from 3 hours back to 2 hours and changing the rating to TV 14. It could be doing a collaboration or a cross promotional pay-per-view event with another company, and doing matches that way. Something that puts his stamp on the WWE and says, this is my show and this is how we're going to run it going forward. He's done a little bit of that by giving wrestlers their first names back and bringing back guys that Vince McMahon fired. But those were all things that Vince did first, and Triple H just undid them. But I want to see something that Triple H does that Vince never did, that Vince never really wanted to do, that Triple H comes in and puts his stamp on the product and says, this is mine now, and this is how we're going to do it going forward. So whether it's building a new star, again, working with, doing a cross promotional show with New Japan or somebody like that, or, a Forbidden Door, I hate that term, but Forbidden Door event. I just think the AEW's made me hate that term so much. Or just, like I said, building like a new star, like a Montez Ford or somebody like that, or I don't know, just do something that really solidifies you as the new man in charge and really puts your stamp on the WWE product.
I like it. That's a good New Year's resolution. Mine is something you touch on all the time with WWE, and that's the women's division, man. The women's division needs some help. I mean, that might be mine for AEW too. Maybe I'm foreshadowing here, but the women's division needs some saving. What are they doing with Ronda? And we talked about it this week with her and Shayna, and they had something there, and they're blowing that, and she just doesn't. Bailey, well, I mean, the whole you finally got an awesome minus Toxic Attraction, an awesome female group. And you have basically buried it, doing nothing with them. They have the tag titles, but they're barely defending. They defended a couple weeks ago, but now they're like doing nothing with Damage Control. I mean, even Bianca, man, she should have lost that title as well. Mandy, they had something going. They let her go. It just, the women's division just seems like a big hot mess right now. And in 2023, I want Stephanie, I want Triple H, I want them to focus on the women's division, bring over Toxic Attraction soon, let Damage Control thrive and be successful. Take that belt off Bianca and have Bianca chase other people and have Rhea have it. Build some new blood. Bring back Charlotte Flair. Let's get this party going. Let's make the women feel important. Let's do another all-female pay-per-view. Let's get this division on and cracking, which they deserve. The women can go just as good as the men. I'm tired of them not getting the respect. I'm really would like to see the women's division thrive and have their moment in 2023. It's about damn time. Their time. I mean, there's no point why Damage Control can't feel like the Usos when it comes to their tag team titles. Shoot, the New Day just won the NXT tag team titles like a day ago, and they already feel more important and defended it more times than Damage Control has. So I really want them this is the whole reason why we lost Sasha and Naomi, right? And I don't think it has changed much since Triple H. He's tried, but he should have done more by now. This women's division needs to be where it needs to be, and that's my resolution and my hope for 2023 in the WWE.
Yeah, that's a good one, and I fully agree. And that was actually my unpopular opinion on the first episode of Two Dudes with Attitudes. Was I thought the WWE women's division was probably at its weakest it's ever been in recent history, but. Yeah, I agree. And it's surprising to me because Stephanie is so big on the women's revolution. And, she was a big catalyst behind starting that first women's pay-per-view not too long ago. And to see where it's gone since then with her husband running it is really, really bizarre. So I do hope that the women have a good year in 2023 and they get the shine and the attention and the love. And we build some new women stars as well, because it's the same thing over and over with, Bianca, Becky, Bailey, and now Alexa Bliss, and then we're gonna get potentially Charlotte Flair coming back. Let's build some young blood. Let's get some new stars up there and build some credible talent.
They got some momentum right now. They are starting, like I said, Rhea and this. So that's why it was my resolution. I have faith, and they are trying to fix Damage Control as well. So And with that said, with New Year's resolutions, it's award time. It's award
Let's do
season,
it.
y'all.
That's
The
right. That's
Oscars,
right.
the Golden Globes, it's everything. Now it is the first ever Two Dudes with Attitudes year-end awards, WWE edition. And we have some fun. We got about, 7 or so, 8 categories.
Yeah.
What I will do is I'll pick them at random here, and then Shooting Star will give his winner and his honorable mention or runner up, and then I'll do mine, and we'll go back and forth, and let's see what you guys think, and post in the comments. Let us know if you guys were on board with it. Are we way off in your opinion? What say you? But I say let's start off with a tag team. Who is the tag team of the year for Mr. SSP?
Yeah, I think this one's pretty obvious, but it's certainly the Usos, in my opinion. They are the tag team of the year. I don't like how they do lose a lot when it's non-title matches, or it's matches where some sort of stipulation is involved, or like last Monday on Raw, they lost after dominating the whole night and destroying everybody. They lose in the main event to KO and Seth Rollins. Clean. But when they have to defend their tag team titles, in my opinion, they're the most clutch tag team maybe ever. But they certainly do not lose those tag titles at all. So to me, they've been the champions pretty much all year long. And so with that, you got to give it to the Usos.
All right. Who's your
What about
runner up?
you?
Who's your runner up?
Oh man, the runner up for me on this one.
This is probably more important because I think our tag team will be the same.
Yeah.
So who's the runner up? Let's see if that's different.
God, it's been so many. But I'm gonna go. I was gonna say the New Day, but they haven't done anything. So my runner up, I actually didn't pick one, so that's why I'm really struggling with this one. Because it's
didn't do his homework. I'm
gonna do Street Profits. Street Profits to me are the runners up.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought they had some great matches with the Usos throughout the year. And I was gonna say Riddle and Randy too, but they
RK Bro is
they were good. But Randy's been gone for a while, and you kind of forgot about him. And Riddle's, who knows what he's doing right now. But there's some rumors out there.
I think we know what he's doing.
Yeah, but nobody's said anything, and I don't want to spread dirt sheet lies. But no, I would say the Street Profits are my runners up.
All right, those are good. All right, so once again, we did not talk about this beforehand. We have no idea who each other are picking. My tag team of the year is obviously the Usos. It,
of course,
makes sense. I don't even got to talk about it. They have dominated, longest reign. They're in the best faction. The end. So the Usos all day, every day. My runner-up, though, who I thought was the next, is close. Because it could be a female tag team as well. I know we haven't had a lot of dominating ones, but I had a tie. So I'm going with Toxic Attraction. I thought, because I'm going to include NXT in this, just so you know. Sorry for you. We didn't discuss that, but they're WWE. So I'm going to go Toxic Attraction because they were amazing and built up. And I'm going to go, believe it or not, I'm going to skip over the Street Profits. I'm Alpha Academy. I like what Alpha Academy did. They had the titles this year, I think, or did they have them the year before? No, they had one of the belts this year because it was split at the beginning. They lost to the New Day and such, an RK Bro. I mean, before RK Bro. So they had, they went back and forth. They beat RK Bro with it. I think they're still getting pushed to this day. The Shoosh, the Funny, Otis, I think is the best he's ever been. Gable obviously is money, and he got a little push with Kurt Angle. So I'm gonna go with Alpha Academy. I like them. I think they can have a good future as well. So that's my runner-up. Let's go most improved shooting star of 2022. Hopefully you got 2 this time.
Yes, I do. The only one I don't have 2 for was the tag team.
All right.
But yeah, and some of them I have 3, some of them I have 4.
Only 2. All right. Unless you make it a tie.
Yeah, so this one I'll do my runner up first. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say her name. We talked about her earlier, but Mandy Rose.
You can.
I know she's not in the WWE at the moment, or so we think, but Mandy Rose, from where her career was on the main roster to what she built in NXT, I thought was damn good. And so she's my runner up. But my winner for most improved, Dominic Mysterio. If you look at where he was at the beginning of the year, teaming with Ray, everybody myself included, I was done with him. I didn't want to see him on the screen anymore. I wanted him to break away from Ray, but I wanted him to go to NXT and do his thing there and build his career up that way. I was in the camp that he's only on TV because he's a Mysterio. He doesn't deserve this, and now he's done exactly that. He turned on Ray at Clash at the Castle, and he is doing his best work. The stuff he did on Thanksgiving and Christmas, where he got arrested. Justice for Dom, by the way.
Yeah.
He got wrongfully arrested because Rhea's the one that got slapped, and Dominic was just defending his mommy. But no, the work that
mommy hit mommy.
That's right. But the work that he's doing with Judgment Day, you can tell he feels comfortable in that group. He's getting better and better. He's getting better in the ring. He's getting better on the microphone. His promos are getting better. He's getting that heel heat, which is really hard to do these days because fans usually want to cheer the heels and boo the baby faces. But he is generating heel heat, and he's just getting better and better. So Dominic Mysterio is my most improved wrestler.
All right. You would think I'd have Dominic as mine as much as I talk about Dominic and post him, but he wasn't on there, believe it or not. So my most improved runner-up I gave to Rhea Ripley. And I know that's tough because she was already phenomenal. So what has she really improved on? But character is something. She was never given the right gimmick, I believe, ever. I never liked her gimmicks in NXT or so on. I just always thought she was hot and over-talented, and that helped her. Now she has that right gimmick. Being mommy has helped her. It has pushed her. Dominic, I guess I could have put them together because they have kind of grown together since Dominic has turned 100%. But I got to give it to Rhea Ripley. She's the new women's champion in the future. WrestleMania, I still believe that. It'll be a Judgment Day Mania. But my most improved winner is Mandy Rose. I agree with you. Nobody deserves that more than Mandy. Even Dominic, even Rhea. Mandy just put in the work. She was a laughing stock in WWE. She was an Eva Marie where people did not believe in her, and all they said was, you're nothing. You're just a big boobs and a butt. You just people want to stare at you. Get off my screen. You can't wrestle. You can't do nothing. And damn, she went to NXT for this year and put in the work and became probably the biggest female star in the business today, I believe. And now she's gone, which is sad. But she is easily my winner for most improved. Kudos to her. I hope she comes back. I miss her, Mandy Rose. Let's go to promo of the year.
Oh man, this one was hard. This one was really hard because I don't remember there being a standout promo in the WWE this year. There's been a lot of great matches. There's been a lot of great moments, but there wasn't really like the CM Punk pipe bomb promo that went on this year that made this easy. But I'm gonna do my. I did 3 for this one. In my third place, I know we're only doing 2, but third place was the Sami Zayn feeling Usi promo with the Bloodline. The fact that he was able to get them to break character and just get them to take a serious moment and really just goof it up and get the fans are so behind him. I love that one. My runner up is the Roman Reigns "Your Daddy's Not Here Anymore" promo that started a movement with Austin Theory. There's a T-shirt made about it now. The "Acknowledge Your Daddy." That wouldn't have happened if Roman Reigns didn't say that line. And Roman Reigns, that was really the first time too that they acknowledged Vince McMahon not being on TV too, which only Roman could pull that off. And so that was my second favorite promo. But I'm going to say my promo of the year, Kevin Owens, when he came out dressed as Stone Cold Steve Austin right before WrestleMania.
That was good.
I love that promo. That was, just everything about it. The fact that he came out he trolled the fans. It was the opening of Raw. He came out dressed as Stone Cold, but Stone Cold's music hit. The fans were cheering. They thought they were getting Austin before Mania. He wasn't rumored to be on camera at all until WrestleMania. So the fact that we're getting him now is such a treat. And then it's KO. And he comes out. He's got the bald skull cap on and everything. He looked just like Stone Cold. He had the fuck fear shirt on, or the Austin. He had one of the shirts with the. He looked just like him. And the promo he cut was fantastic. And he carried that feud going into WrestleMania, and it was moments like that. And so that's actually one of my favorite promos of the year from anybody was the Kevin Owens Stone Cold Steve Austin promo.
I dig it. I forgot about that, man. I forgot about that. And that whole feud and everything about it was awesome.
I had to go into the archives for that one, but that one was probably better than anything that the Bloodline has done. I
Yeah,
thought.
but yeah, all right,
Yeah.
good. Those are three good ones. My runner-up for promo of the year is actually Seth and Riddle backstage. Seth
Okay.
Rollins and Matt Riddle. I dug it. I dug the personal. I'm
Yeah.
a big MMA fan. They copied the whole John Jones and Daniel Cormier thing, where it's like they already cut a pretty good promo face to face. Then when the camera's off, wink, wink, and they do that back and forth about his wife and his kids. That was kind of the start of it. I know they kind of drug it out after that, but when I think of memorable moments, that was one of them. It just stands out. It was fantastic, and it led to the heat that they had. I loved it, and it was well done by both men. But I gotta go. My number one, my winning promo of the year has to be Roman Reigns and the Bloodline turning on Sami Zayn. That moment, still to this day, pulls at my heartstrings. When he looks at Sammy and asks him why he's wearing that Bloodline shirt and tells him to take it
Oh yeah.
off, and he doesn't want to take it off. And he's like, why? Why are you doing this? And Sam, that was like the start of everything, the bloodline of where we are today. That moment with Jay, he tells Jay to rip it off him, and Jay rips it off him, and he's so happy to do it. And Sammy looks defeated, like he's getting bullied. The poor ginger kid, you know how that is. And he's just getting picked on in the schoolyard, and he's crying. He just doesn't know what to do with himself at that moment. And then Roman throws him that honorary Oos shirt. And it just is like they hug, they embrace, and that was kind of the beginning of all the bloodline magic. That thing to this day, still, I think about it. I don't even know why. I just sit around and go, man, remember when Sammy got like picked on, but Roman was just messing with him? And there's been so much since then, right? And that started the whole honorary Oos and the Usi and the Sammy Uso and everything else. But that has stuck with me all year. That might be my favorite out of them all, even with MJF over in AEW when we get there. That was just it was good stuff.
That was a good promo. That I completely forgot about that one, but you're right. That is the one that set everything off and led to the Usyk promos, and I think it's the acting too. Roman Reigns did his part. Sami Zayn did his thing. Sami Zayn looked like he was legitimately about to cry, and then the moment of elation, the moment of excitement when Roman hands him that new shirt, it was just like it was perfect. It was so well done. And Jay being Jay, it was great.
It was good. Good stuff. All right, let's get into the most shocking moment of the year in WWE. And this could have been a lot. This was a hard one for me to pick two. This and match of the year were probably my hardest ones to pick two of. But what say you? What's the most shocking?
So this, like you said, this one was hard. I was torn between Edge being kicked out of the Judgment Day because I didn't see.
I didn't even think of that one. That's a good one. Oh, okay.
I didn't see that one. I didn't see it coming when I was watching it. I was like, wait, what? They're doing that already? That's way too soon. And then I was like, oh, Finn Balor's joining the Judgment Day. They're done. They're not going to do anything. The rest of this group's going to go to waste in the next few months, and you're never going to hear from them again. That's really what I thought was going to happen with Judgment Day. I was torn. I was thinking about Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, but I think for me, this one's more, it's not really a shocking moment it is in wrestling, but it didn't happen on screen. And it's Vince McMahon retiring. It was something that
is, you win.
I think it changed the game. It really did. It changed the landscape of not just the WWE, but wrestling in general, because you had the other company down in Jacksonville pressing the panic button and trying to do everything they can to react to the changes, and all of a sudden WWE's destination wrestling again. Everybody wants to go back to WWE, especially when they announced that it wasn't just Vince retiring, but it was Stephanie taking over as CEO with Nick Khan and Triple H taking over as head of creative. All of a sudden, just everything changed. It became, people were interested to see what Triple H was going to do. People were curious to see who he was going to bring back, how he was going to bring people back. Who's going to take over? Are they going to bring back Black and Gold? Who from Black and Gold are they going to bring back? A lot of them are in AEW now. And we're starting to see some of that with, William Regal's back in WWE, and, who's going to, apparently Aleister Black almost rejoined WWE until he decided to go back to AEW. So I really think Vince McMahon retiring was the most shocking moment of the year, because it changed the landscape, not just of WWE, but wrestling in general.
That was a good pick. I didn't even think of that, and that probably is the most shocking moment in wrestling, period. So good job.
Yeah.
Good to you. My picks don't really matter anymore. All right. So
What was yours?
runner up. Yeah, no, I'm not saying. Let's just go to female. No, okay. So runner up, I have Stone Cold wrestling at WrestleMania. I know we all like thought it was happening and we had
Yeah.
like inclinations. That's my runner up. We were like, okay, this is gonna is he not? No, they're just gonna have a KO show, you know. But you always think something, and then when it happens, you're like, okay, now it and you're also always smarter afterwards, right? Like you always knew it
Oh
was
yeah.
gonna happen once it happens. But Stone Cold wrestling at Mania, I thought to me was just a huge shock because I didn't think it was really, really gonna happen. And then I didn't think it was gonna be a 5-star Dave Meltzer match. That shit was a banger. Something that I had trouble with not picking as one of my best of the year, but it was a damn good match all around, good time. Damn, it was great to see him at Mania. But my most shocking also happened at Mania. You mentioned it briefly, but it has to be the Cody return. For many reasons, but I know once again that was another one that everybody saw coming. Wink, wink. It was going to happen, this and that, and it was supposed to happen on Raw, and 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 it never did. But his music hitting, him coming out from the stage, underneath being lifted up, that moment I think will forever live in my brain. It changed the game. The fact that he created and built AEW and then bounced and returned to WWE at the grandest stage of it all. And that entrance and that pop with his AEW music, with his AEW look, with his AEW gimmick, I think kind of transcended. And I think that was the start of AEW falling apart because I think he was the glue and people didn't realize that. I think it's the most shocking moment for so many different reasons. And people forget, which I'll get into at my match of the year, is that he left on a high note. And when he comes back, he's going to be bigger than ever. I think people, we forget. Well, us fans are fickle. We have short memories unless we don't want it.
Oh yeah.
And I think we forget how over as a babyface he was. So that moment to me was the most shocking because it was just for the aspects of that. But you still win with Vince.
I was torn on that one though. I was really torn because Cody Rhodes, like that's another one that could also change the landscape of wrestling, not just WWE, because you know it hurts AEW. It's a win for WWE. But Cody Rhodes, yeah, I mean it was the way that they planted the seeds going into that match too, with you know the commentary team making comments about, you know, Seth Rollins is living in a nightmare, that, you know, just little things like that, that you kind of knew it was coming, but you were also like, maybe it's not, maybe, because you kept thinking he's coming on, he's going to be on Raw tonight. He's going to appear on Raw tonight. He's going to appear on, and he never did. And it was like, okay, maybe he's really not coming over there. Maybe this is all a work and he's not really leaving AEW.
Dave Meltzer trash.
Yeah. And now he comes to WWE and the pop he got, you know, it's amazing. You mentioned how fans are fickle. Those AEW fans were booing the hell out of Cody every event they were in. And now he comes to WWE and he's getting cheered left and right. And it's just amazing what a different venue and a different logo can do for you.
Heck yeah.
But again, that was also, not to harp on that, but Vince too. That was a Vince hire, and I'm curious to see what happens with Cody now that Triple H is running the show, because you know Vince kind of retired after Cody got hurt, and you know Cody's the one that destroyed the throne and talked a lot of smack about Triple H and the way he was doing things and how he held guys down when he was there. So I'm curious to see what will happen with Triple H and Cody and their dynamic. I think they can let the past be the past, but excited to see it nonetheless.
You know, Triple H, from being with DX and everything else, he doesn't hold grudges. He knows business is business. Trust me. Triple H never shed a tear. I don't think Triple H gives two shits about anything that happened when Cody was left. In my opinion, I think he's like, dude, I would have done the same shit. So it is what it is. He's from the Monday Night Wars, for crying out loud.
That's true.
So I mean, that was like the most. So let's go with female of the year. This was the hardest one for me, honestly, to like pick somebody. Sorry, my ear itches. To pick somebody to choose from. There's so many options. Female and not options. Female of the year. Let's go.
All right. Runner up for me is Bianca Belair. She's been the women's champion.
For shame.
For a year. I know. She's been the women's champion for a year, or she's gonna have been the women's champion for a year come WrestleMania. She's had some really great matches with Becky Lynch. She's done some great stuff with Bayley. As much as I hate the fact that Bayley loses all the time, the matches that she's had with her have been really good. So Bianca Belair is my runner-up, but my female of the year, Rhea Ripley. she was your most improved, but she is my female of the year. The way that she has transcended from kind of a nobody, and then she joined Judgment Day, and I was kind of iffy on that, especially when it was her and Edge and Priest. So I was like, okay, she's going to be the odd person out in this group.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be the Edge and Priest show, and Rhea's just going to be there. And then they kicked Edge out, and it changed everything. It really did. It changed everything for the better. They brought Finn Balor in, and he's on the run of his career. Dominic turned heel, and Dominic and Rhea are, they're fantastic together. They have such a great dynamic. They have such a great chemistry. They have such a great, just a great feel. And to me, she's going to dethrone Bianca Belair. She's going to win the women's. I think she's going to win the women's Rumble, and I think she's going to win at WrestleMania, and I think she's going to beat Bianca, and we're going to see a big year from Rhea Ripley in 2023. But she's my female of the year for sure.
Good pick. Good pick. And I think in most people, it is Bianca. I was just messing with you for picking Bianca. I think in most people's eyes, she is the female of the year. I like them both. Mine, I have the same females as I did in the same exact order as most improved. So my runner-up for female of the year is Rhea Ripley. Just because I didn't think she kicked into gear until halfway through the year.
Yeah.
I just felt like I couldn't give her the women of the year, but she needed to be recognized. Obviously, we've talked about her, so you just did. So you know where I stand. My female of the year is an NXT superstar, Mandy Rose. I know I'm giving my roses out to Mandy Rose over and over and over again, but dude, the fact that what she did for NXT, for Toxic Attraction, for that title, for herself. I mean, I'm telling you right now, if she would have opened up her OnlyFans a year and a half ago, it wouldn't be making as much money as it is now. That was because she became the superstar that she is today through her wrestling abilities and learning. I just really, really hope with giving her the female of the year that she will be back next year in some kind of organization, because she put in too much damn work and too much time to just now stop. It'd be different if she'd been doing this for 5-6 years as on that level, like a Stone Cold or a Rock, and she can move on because shit, I've been great for 5 years. No, she just figured out this craft and is almost, in the level of perfecting it to becoming a star for years to come. And to just quit now, would be heartbreaking. So I hope she does return. But yes, my female of the year is Miss Mandy Rose.
Yeah, it's a solid pick. And I wanted to go with her, but yeah, everything that's gone on since, and the fact that she's done everything and she didn't even sniff the main roster says a lot about Mandy Rose, and how she's maybe the biggest women's star in all of wrestling, and she's not even on Raw or SmackDown every week, which
I agree.
Says a lot.
Yeah. I agree. And she is now, and she ain't even in wrestling. All right. Yeah. Now for maybe the most obvious award of the night, male superstar of the year, but maybe the runner-ups will be different. Let's see here. So the male superstar of the year, 2022.
Yeah, this is another one that I have 3 for. Kevin Owens, I think number 3 for me. He's been putting in the work. He's done some great stuff. Number 2, runner-up, Seth Rollins. He has, from the Royal Rumble, where he came out dressed as the Shield and the Shield gimmick, all the way till now, he's maybe, he's the face of Monday Night Raw. And he's going after the U.S. Championship, and it looks like maybe he may be rekindling that feud with the Bloodline, especially after Monday Night Raw. I'm feeling Seth Rollins, and I think he deserves some love for everything he's done this year. And then obviously male of the year for me, Roman Reigns. Nothing else can be said. Roman Reigns, he's the undisputed champion. He's had some of the best lines. He's had some of the best promos. He hasn't wrestled a lot, but when he has wrestled, it's a show. You're on the edge of your seat the whole time. So for me, it's Roman Reigns, hands down, male of the year.
All right. So we're tied. I didn't do 3, but my runner-up is Seth Rollins. Freaking Rollins. I would have given it to him too, but I can't give it to him over Roman. It makes no sense.
It's hard.
But
it's hard.
Seth Rollins, like you said, not just with the Shield thing at Rumble, but his run with Kevin Owens before, Mania, his match with Cody, his feud with Cody, his feud with Riddle, I have him for promo. You'll see in match where I have him at. I have Seth Rollins all over this damn thing. He carried the WWE when Roman wasn't there. But you have to give it to Roman. I mean, he's breaking records. He's shattering it. The bloodline is literally the hottest thing in WWE right now, and he's leading that. He feels special. He feels important. And if you say otherwise, you're just a damn hater. So Roman Reigns is the male superstar of the year for me as well. Same one. So good job.
Yeah.
And now before we get to match of the year, we have one more. Let's do the MVP. And with that said, you listeners might be like, well, what's MVP? Well, to me, MVP is the most valuable person in WWE this year. So he doesn't have to be Roman, or he doesn't have to be the best. He doesn't have to be Mandy or whatever. This person just has to be the person who you thought carried and was most intrigued, the most important person in WWE, in your opinion, for the year. So who were yours?
All right, let me find it. So for me, runner up, Seth Rollins.
Okay.
He's somebody that, again, he carried Monday Night Raw. He has been on almost every single pay-per-view that they've had this year. I think maybe every pay-per-view. He had a little bit of a losing streak there that finally snapped at one of the pay-per-views where he finally held some gold. And so Seth Rollins, to me, with everything he's done for the company and everything he's done for WWE, was my runner-up. I'm going to get some hate for this, but my winner of the MVP, Sami Zayn. Hands down, it is Sami freaking Zayn, the honorary Uso, Sami Uso, just because, I've talked about this guy before, but he has a knack. Him and Kevin Owens have a knack for turning chicken shit into chicken salad. And what he did with Johnny Knoxville at WrestleMania, that match should not have been as entertaining as it was. The build for it, when they announced that he was going to be wrestling him, I don't think a lot of people were looking forward to it. And then all of a sudden, Sami Zayn's phone numbers leaked to TMZ, and he is getting all these voicemails, and it's all part of the story. And I'm just like, this is really freaking incredible. This guy is turning this into something that we have to watch. And then the match itself was really entertaining. And then everything he's done with the bloodline, how he's been able to make Roman Reigns break character so many times with his lines. You can tell that that's the first time, whenever he says things like feeling Usi, you can tell that that's the first time that guys like Roman and the Usos have heard it. It's not pre-rehearsed. It's not anything that they've discussed. It's the first time that they hear it, and they're just cracking up. They just find it so funny. But he has made, to me, the bloodline, as great as they've been, they were getting a little stale. It was kind of, okay, what direction are they going to go in now? What are they going to do? Roman's beating everybody. There's really no clear direction. They're not building anybody up to take over or to beat him, really. And then Sami Zayn injected some life into it, and Sami Zayn brought the bloodline back and has carried the bloodline. But besides Roman, him and Roman are the two most entertaining things on the bloodline. But Sami is a big part of that. His stuff in the ring has been great. His matches, to me, Sami Zayn is the MVP of 2022 in the WWE.
All right. Well, believe it or not, fine. We had the same males, and now we have the same MVPs. I agree.
Oh, nice.
Seth Rollins was my runner-up. It hurt for me to pick Seth Rollins as a runner-up because, like I said, he should be the male, and then I don't even give him the MVP when he's put in so much work. But Sami Zayn, like you said, everything you said is pretty much, I don't have to say much on it. The one thing, though, is that what really impressed me with Sami Zayn, minus everything else he did, his matches and his gimmicks and so on, and his promo skills, is that he was able to join a faction that had the biggest stars, period. Has probably the greatest tag team ever. It probably has soon to be maybe the greatest champion ever, yada, 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 the most dominant people today. And he has joined with them and has not only stood out, but gets more cheers. He has carried them. He feels bigger than them a lot of the times and what people want. And that segment that we just talked about on SmackDown was a prime example of it. And he said it. You guys cheer me. You guys love me. You guys chant my name. You guys say, this is Uso. You say Sami Uso. You say Sami. You chant me. You want me. You cheer for me. This and that. All of that is true. And I think that's why Roman passed it over to him. And it has felt great. And it has made him a star. And I mean, there should be nobody else as the most valuable player in wrestling than Sami Zayn. So I mean, he has turned this year around and made it fun.
It's made it intriguing too. When is the bloodline going to break up? When is the bloodline going to? Is Sami and KO going to team together? Are they going to go against the Usos? Is Sami going to be the one to dethrone Roman? Is Sami going to be the? It's added so much intrigue to the story that wasn't there before. And Sami is definitely the clear cut MVP.
When the bloodline implodes, it needs to be a moment like my promo of the year, where it needs to be Roman and them turning on him
Yeah,
and leaving Sammy there crying
and
and sad and utter pain, because he can deliver that. And we need people to be like, I cannot believe these assholes did that to him.
yeah,
That's how it
he'll
needs to
be,
be. He
and
needs
when
to,
it
it can't be
happens,
him flipping on them. That won't have
no,
the same impact.
yeah,
They need to turn on him when it's ready, and that will lead to him getting his comeuppance. But
and
we
when
need to
it
feel the pain in him.
and when it happens, he will be the biggest babyface maybe in all of wrestling.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's hard to be a babyface in the world of wrestling these days,
Period.
and because
Yep.
the fans want to hate you.
Yep.
The cool thing is to boo the faces and cheer the
Hmm.
heels, but
Yep.
Sami Zayn he'll get the babyface cheers for sure.
All right. And now for the hardest part, the last one, because we're like 20 minutes over,
Yeah,
is match of the year. I had about 12 of these, 15 of
yeah.
these I could have put in either spot. So I just pulled out of a hat. So I got two. What say you? What are your match of the years?
All right, number 3 for me is Sheamus versus Gunther at Clash at the Castle.
All
I
right.
thought that was a banger of a match. Nothing more needs to be said about that. Runner up, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Kevin
So
Owens
you
at
put it in there.
WrestleMania.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, again, it was just seeing Stone Cold Steve Austin back in the ring was incredible. Kevin Owens, doing his thing, the stunner versus the stunner. I thought
Hmm.
it was a good match, and
Hmm.
the will he, won't he, the intrigue building up to it of will Austin be there? Will he wrestle? Will it just be the KO show? Will he just do a stunner and leave? Added so much intrigue to when he actually did have a match. I was cringing every time he took a bump. It was. But it was, they put together a hell of a show and put together a hell of a match, and yeah, that's my runner up. And then my match of the year, I think we might be on the same page with this one, but Cody versus Seth at Hell in a Cell, the torn pec. And I mentioned I was cringing every time Stone Cold took a bump. I was literally cringing every time Cody Rhodes took some sort of bump in that match. You
Hmm.
could tell he was in so much pain. He could barely lift his arm before the match started. And Seth Rollins just taking that on and putting the kendo stick right on his pec. I was literally like, oh my gosh, no. Oh God, you can tell. And
Hmm.
normally with wrestling, I'm able to separate that stuff. Like I know when they're going through a table, yeah, it probably hurts, but I also know there's padding and they're protected.
Yeah.
This was a legit injury, and this was a torn pec that has taken guys out for a long time. The fact that WWE even allowed him to wrestle, the fact that he even wrestled, he earned a lot of people's respect that night. He's going to be a big star when he returns. And yeah, it was a gruesome injury. And kudos to both Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens to me, because they had to carry those guys.
Hmm.
And not saying that Cody Rhodes needs to be carried, because he's a damn good worker, but in that
Hmm.
match, he had to protect Cody. He had to make sure Cody was safe. He had to make sure, and it was a Hell in a Cell too.
Yeah.
And same thing with Kevin Owens with the Stone Cold match. He had to protect Austin. He had to make sure that if he's going to take bumps, we got to do it safely. And these are Kevin Owens, or Seth Rollins especially, is taking some heat with his, he broke John Cena's nose. He maybe injured Sting, and people were saying he was reckless in the ring. And all this, although this was like 11 years ago,
Hmm.
people were still saying it. But I think with the match against Cody, he really protected him, and they put together a damn good match despite the circumstances. So
Yeah.
my match of the year is Cody versus Seth at Hell in a Cell.
All right. All right. So we're close. I got runner up. I got Gunther versus Sheamus at Clash.
Okay.
Like you said, enough said. But the thing that I like about that match is that was the day that Gunther became a true star. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
known as Walter. Yeah, people were mad about Gunther, although now Gunther's a way better name than Walter.
Yeah.
Sorry
Oh,
for
I
all you
agree.
fans out there who were Walter, because I don't want change. Gunther is just fits him better, and it makes him that person that he is. And he became a new person, but it also remade Sheamus a star.
Yeah.
And that match really was good at where it was at, how it worked. It was just a banger. But I go with Cody and Seth as the match of the year as well. It has to be. I rewatched it on Raw last night. Just
Yeah.
watching it, it was atrocious. Just seeing him take his jacket off and everything. And you brought up the Seth Rollins, hurting people in the ring. It's funny because he is known for that in a way. I'm not saying that's like what you think of top 5 things of Seth. You think of him injuring, but he has put some people on the shelf. And even recently, he did a couple of his curb stomps and legit hurt Riddle. And I mean,
Yeah.
he's obviously, so I have to give more props to Cody. The fact that Cody was like, all right, I'm going against this guy, and he has hurt people before, and he can legit probably mess me up. and went with it and allowed them to do some kind of risky things. I rewatched it and the moves they were doing and things that they were going. So yeah, and props to Seth, because he is one of the greatest in-ring performers today by far. He's probably top 3 best in-ring performers at the moment. But yeah, props to him for not hurting him, for having a great match, and for a Hell in a Cell that was probably planned to be a lot more gruesome. I think Cody wanted that Hell in a Cell because Cody wants to bleed all over the place like Moxley. They weren't able to really have that kind of match, but they still carried it. And I don't know if it just, even with the injury, it was a phenomenal match and it was well done. And Cody sold it all, even though I'm sure a lot of it was fake. A lot of his things, even though it was painful, but he made it look just so much worse probably than it really was. And I mean, I saw an interview with him where he said it was so messed up that he wasn't really, it wasn't to the point where it was going to get any more injured, and it wasn't really hurting him anyway.
That's why he was able to wrestle.
Yeah, he's like, it wasn't hurt. He's like, it was what it was. It was just me not being able to use it. It wasn't like a pain type of thing. Yeah. But still, I wouldn't have done it. Props to him. And yes, WWE is fantastic at re-showing you things that have happened when people return. They will get all over that and remind all of these short-minded fans of how popular he was before he left. So I'm excited to see him come back, and he will be the biggest baby face in WWE come hopefully Royal Rumble.
Until Sami Zayn gets turned on. And then,
we'll see. But Cody will be champ by then. So man, that was our year-end awards. We went way too long, but you know what? Now we know for Friday when we do AEW. But thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for listening and tuning in. That was awesome, Shooting Star. That was our first annual award show. So I'm looking forward to many more years. I'm looking forward to many years. With that, as always, follow, subscribe, comment, check us out. Tomorrow we will be live for our first ever watch along at 9 p.m. Eastern, watching Survivor Series 1997 on Twitch and YouTube. Join. Let's get like a ton of people on there so we can all talk and have fun. That's what it's all about. And then Friday we return at 1 o'clock Eastern time again for our AEW year-end and Dynamite show. I'm MWO.
And I'm SSP, Shooting Star Press. Hit us up on TikTok and socials. Do everything you got to do. Follow and subscribe. Like he said, we got this.
Let's go. Thank you.
All right.